France, once a colonial power with an extensive empire spanning Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Caribbean, experienced a gradual and complex process of decolonization during the Cold War era. This article explores the factors that contributed to France's loss of its colonies, examining the intricate interplay of global geopolitical shifts, nationalist movements, and the changing dynamics of the Cold War. Post-World War Roman II context. 1. Post-World War Roman II exhaustion. The aftermath of World War Roman II left France economically and politically weakened. The devastation of the war, coupled with the burden of reconstruction, compelled a reevaluation of colonial commitments. 2. Global shifts in power. The emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers altered the geopolitical landscape. The Cold War rivalry created a dynamic where former colonial powers faced pressure to align with one of the superpowers. 3. Ideological shifts. The ideals of self-determination and anti-colonialism gained momentum on the global stage, influencing the discourse on empire and fostering nationalist movements in colonized regions. Indochina, a precursor to decolonization. 1. First Indochina War 1946–1954. France's attempt to reassert control over its colony in Indochina resulted in a protracted conflict with nationalist forces, particularly the Viet Minh led by Ho Chi Minh. The battle at Dien Bien Phu in 1954 marked a turning point, leading to the Geneva Accords and the division of Vietnam. 2. U.S. involvement and domino theory. The United States became increasingly involved in Indochina to prevent the spread of communism, reflecting the influence of the domino theory. However, the U.S. commitment did not prevent the ultimate division of Vietnam and the beginning of French withdrawal. Algeria, a crucible of conflict. 1. Algerian War of Independence 1954–1962. Algeria, a French settler colony, became a focal point of resistance against colonial rule. The National Liberation Front FLN waged a brutal insurgency for independence, leading to a protracted and bloody conflict. 2. Global opinion and human rights. The Algerian War drew international attention and condemnation for the use of torture and human rights abuses by French forces. The conflict highlighted the dissonance between French Republican ideals and the reality of colonial repression. Decolonization and the Cold War. 1. Changing international norms. The evolving international norms, shaped by the United Nations and the tide of decolonization, made it increasingly untenable for colonial powers to maintain their empires. 2. Divergent Cold War strategies. While the United States favored a strategy of supporting decolonization to win influence in newly independent nations, France struggled to reconcile its imperial past with the changing global order. 3. French political turmoil. The Algerian War contributed to political instability in France, with shifting governments grappling with the challenges of the conflict. The Fourth Republic faced internal divisions, leading to the establishment of the Fifth Republic under Charles de Gaulle. Conclusion. France's loss of its colonies during the Cold War era was a complex and multifaceted process influenced by global power shifts, changing norms around colonialism, and the emergence of nationalist movements. The Indochina and Algerian conflicts were pivotal moments that underscored the untenability of maintaining colonial rule in the face of determined resistance and shifting international dynamics. The process of decolonization ultimately reshaped France's role on the world stage as it transitioned from being a colonial power to engaging in new forms of global diplomacy.